Even the church you go to was sold to you. The religion you follow was sold to you. You can't be in business and hate selling. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Most of us, let's be honest, comrades, our products are not that good.
Most people don't have a sales problem. They have a strategy problem. If you want to sell more, close better, and build customers who market for you, stay with me. Because in this episode, we're breaking down one of the most powerful sales frameworks shared by Vusi Thembekwayo. Today, we're unpacking 5 game-changing sales principles: Evangelise, knowledge, community, exclusivity, and freemium. These aren't just tactics. These are strategies that turn ordinary offers into movements. And before we begin, scan the QR code on your screen right now and join our community for more sales resources, business opportunities, and practical insights designed to help you grow. This is Sales Masterclass only on Glittarz TV. We don't just talk about selling, we teach how to win in business. Let's get into it.
Sales is a strategy and it's a tool, but most importantly, it's a skill that you can learn. And the work that we do with entrepreneurs, I often hear entrepreneurs talk about how much they hate selling. And I got to tell you, you can't be in business and hate selling. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Everything you bought, somebody sold to you. Every ad campaign was an attempt by somebody to sell to you. Even the church you go to was sold to you. The religion you follow was sold to you. They called it evangelizing, right? But all of these are methods and methodologies of selling stuff. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about the different sales strategies that you can deploy and how each of these sales strategies will help you depending on the business that you are in. Sales strategy number 1, evangelize. The word we use now is influence, right? That there are other people who have more credibility than you, who can reach your potential customers and can speak about what you do to those potential customers and get them to act and get them to buy. We'll come back to how do you actually execute a strategy based on evangelizing your product or service. The second way to sell, knowledge. In this model of selling, it's based on what you know to be so uniquely true that customers believe you're the only person who can execute on that thing and can execute on that thing at scale. So our school of scale business is based very much on this, right? So based on actual knowledge, what do you know? And there are many companies that deploy this. We'll talk about those companies that deploy that in a moment. The third strategy for selling, community. This, in my mind, is going to become increasingly important, especially in the day of artificial intelligence. Because with artificial intelligence, you can generate as much content as you want, you can research as much stuff as you want, you can launch as many apps as you want. It used to be that technical ability and prowess was what won the business strategy game. Today, it's who do you know and who can you reach? It's community. And so that's why you see even the biggest podcasts now suddenly have Telegram channels and WhatsApp channels. We're all building stuff on Mighty Networks or School or any of those platforms trying to build a community. Why? Because we recognize that community is a very strong sales strategy tactic. The fourth sales strategy tactic this is one of my favorite. Exclusivity. Sell to people on the premise that they can't afford to get in, that they don't qualify to get in. Because what happens when you drive exclusivity is people's internal desire and need actually goes, no, I do want to be a part of that. Do you ever notice how if you ever find something that you heard, that you are one of a few people that knows about, there's something about it that like feels cool, right? It feels like, oh, I actually want to be a part of this. If you ever find a small little clique, a small little community, a small little spot, a small little like thing that happens and nobody knows about it, you feel like you're just ahead of people. Exclusivity is one of the most misunderstood sales strategies of the year. And I'm going to give you some tips at the moment about how do you sell leveraging exclusivity. And then the fifth sales strategy, and it's typically the one where most people start, is free. Right. The word we use in tech, and when you sell tech products, we talk about freemium. How do you start by giving something for free? And if you give it to people for free, and then you get them entrapped in the use of that product. And that's the word that I actually like to use, right? It's the entrapped word. And I'll explain in a moment. Let's go back. So If you're building a sales strategy based on evangelizing, what are the things you need to be aware of? First, credibility. It's of no consequence to try and get people to evangelize your product. And the test here is the product has to be good and the people have to be credible. If your product is not good and the people are credible, they will lose their credibility. If your product is good and you get people that aren't credible, no one's going to believe them anyway. So for those of you building out your sales strategies, looking for a way to evangelize your product, what you might want to ask yourself is, how do I build credibility of both my product as well as my evangelists?
Pay close attention to this.
And there's several ways to do this. Like literally the entire universe of YouTube affiliate marketing is based on this. You've got a YouTube channel and you go and sell somebody else's product who you've never met, but YouTube tells you the product is good, and because you've got a channel and a following, it uses evangelizing as a model to drive sales. That literally is how the entire YouTube affiliate marketing model actually works. So for you, how do you know if you want to be using evangelizing as a model to sell your business? It's quite simple. It's if the product you sell is commoditized. Because if the product you sell is commoditized, there is nothing you can say that's going to get the attention of an additional consumer. Like water is water is water, right? Water is water is water. But vitamin water is by 50 cents. See what just happened there? And so his following and his credibility is now lent to the water brand, right? Running shoes are running shoes are running shoes. But, you know, Usain Bolt ran the fastest time in the world wearing Pumas. Now Pumas just leveraged Usain Bolt's credibility to sell their product. When your product is commoditized, in other words, there is very little differentiation between yours and your competitors' products, this is a great model to use. Second model to use, knowledge. This is one of my favorite, but I have to tell you, in the age of AI, it's going to get even harder to actually do this, right? The model for knowledge is based on this unique. You have to know something that nobody else knows. Otherwise, you can't sell based on knowledge. And so, which are the companies that use knowledge as a model of selling? Think about firms like McKinsey. Think about Bain. Think about accounting firms like EY. All three, by the way, are clients of mine. They use unique insights. I've got a very large client in the world at the moment called IFS. Go and check them out online. They're a leading company that does industrial automation using artificial intelligence. I've been with them to Miami. When I shared the stage with Tia Claire Toomey and Michael Phelps, it was because I was working with the IFS guys. And all they do is they use the knowledge they have, from which knowledge they generate unique insights about how do you take artificial intelligence and use it in your actual factory to drive your business. Not AI to write prompts about improve my script. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you're running a mega factory that is 10 floors that is manufacturing highly sophisticated stuff, and you want to input an artificial intelligence that will make that factory run at a 10% better uptime and improve your efficiencies by 13%. That's what they do. And so when they do it, what they do is they publish these reports which give insights and unique knowledge, and they send it to other people in the marketplace who then know that they're uniquely positioned to do this.
That's right.
So they don't sell themselves by saying, well, we're an IT company, come to us. That's not what they do. They take customer use cases, actual test cases, they publish it, and then they let customers buy. If you follow the entire IT industry, you'll find it actually does this. That's why you have those Gallup reports. That's why you have those Gartner reports. It's based on unique insights and knowledge. Still getting value? Yeah. Let's talk about the third model of selling now, community. Community. The thing about community is you have to have a stickiness. I run a community called Club 100. I think we're at over 1,000 members now. And when we started, we just wanted to get to 100. We're at like over 1,000 now. Unbelievable community. But what you do when you build a community is you build a group of like-minded people who believe in what you believe, who follow what you believe, and who are evangelizing the product set that you sell. The great thing is If you build a community, you typically have enough equity that you can sell anything into them, but building a community is very, very difficult to do. Everybody wants it, very few people can actually do it. And I can tell you now, lessons from the ground, actually doing it, that the easy thing to do is to attract people to your community. The hard thing to do is to keep them there. And so what you're constantly trying to figure out when you're building a community is what makes it sticky, what makes people stay, what makes people not leave, right? Because if you can't figure that out, don't even try this as a community set. And for those of you here who are watching this, who run like services businesses, I had a young man I was chatting to the other day who was showing me that he's got this community, he calls it on WhatsApp. First of all, WhatsApp can't be a community. It's followers, but it can't be a community, right? Just by definition. And he was like, well, he's got this community of people who's with on his WhatsApp group, and he's a personal trainer. And I said, so what do you do to keep people coming back? He's like, well, I post workout tips and diet tips. No, that's not sticky. I can get that stuff on the internet. That's not sufficiently sticky. You need to find something that makes what you do unique and sufficiently sticky.
Here, AI boots like ChatGPT or Claude AI can actually come in. You can prompt it to give you sticky activities for your community.
That it keeps them coming back because they can't get it anywhere else. And I said to him, until you figure that out, you don't have a community, you've got a group of followers on your WhatsApp group. This is why everybody thinks this is easy. Try it. Man, let me tell you, try it. Fourth, exclusivity. Exclusivity. So how do you build a sales strategy based on exclusivity? You make it hard to join. And you intentionally make it hard to join. So our Club 100 community, you pay, I think it's $30 a month now, and you join the community. You want to join Club 100 or you want to join School of Scale? Yeah, that's $5,000. And it's intentionally hard because the businesses we have in School of Scale do a minimum of like $250,000 turnover. I don't want people who are still at idea stage joining a community with people who are doing $250,000 turnover. They're at different stages, they have different problems. So I make it prohibitively hard to join because I want it to be an exclusive community. You know what we're doing this year for 2026? We're doing these global exchanges, right? So in countries that I'm going to be traveling to, I'm going to be taking some of my School of Scale members with me. So they're traveling with me to Dubai. I know that we're looking at a trip to Saudi Arabia. We're looking at a trip to the United States. And there was one other country the team was looking at. I want to say Canada. Right? But I'm taking like 5 to 10 of them who are going to travel with me. And in those countries, I'm going to introduce them to other business people, introduce them to investors. We're going to do a couple of chambers of commerce meetings. Now, some of you are watching this going, I would love that opportunity. Yeah, but you can't join because it's hard. On purpose. Because it's exclusive. On purpose. Does that make sense? So when you're trying to drive your sales strategy, you need to have absolute awareness over what it is that you're trying to drive and why it matters. And then the last one. And here, I'm just going to sell you right now, caution. Let me tell you what happened with free. All of us were told freemium by these people who build technology companies that said, well, you know, if you offer something for free and people have a trial period of 7 days, after 7 days you can build them, and then that's how you convert them. And what we all very quickly learned was that people who buy free very seldom want to pay afterwards. Very seldom. So in our Club 100 community, we led with this as a freemium thing, and we had like a 2.5% conversion rate. I don't wake up in the morning for 2.5%. I'm sorry. There are some people out there who do, and good luck for you. I just don't play that game. Somebody will watch this and go, yeah, but 2.5% of 100 million people is, you know, 2.5 million people. Have you ever reached 100 million people, you yourself?
The problem is not packing crowd. The real question is, how loyal are they?
So how do you expect that I'm going to reach 100 million people and get 2.5 million people to join my platform? It's just not going to happen. And so for us, what we learned was that once we positioned the product as free, it was very difficult to get people to part with their money because the psychological anchor they had was that the product is free. Now, there are some products for whom freemium works, an accounting software, a CRM, an emailing service. You know, it might work for you to go try it, you have a trial version, just $1, and then you try it on after 7 days or 14 days. If you want it, it'll convert to a paying model. That might very well work for SaaS businesses. But for other types of businesses, very difficult. It'd be like running a bakery and saying to somebody, come to my bakery, have the first meal on me, or have the first loaf on me. Afterwards, you can buy another loaf. No one's going to buy another loaf after they've had the first loaf, because that's not the way you build a bakery business. And so what's really important when you're watching a lot of this online stuff and a lot of these online gurus giving you advice is you've actually got to understand, what business are you in? If I was running a bakery business, which of these do you think I would be based on? It would be based on community for sure. Why? There's a bakery that I go to in South Africa in Benoni called Jurita Bakery. It is a proper business that understands community. Like, I've never seen an ad of Jurita Bakery. I don't even think they have a social media platform. And yet every single time I'm in country and I take my kids there on a Saturday, it's flooded with people. You can't walk in and out. Do you know why? Because their bread is so good, so fresh, and so unbelievable that all of us who've tasted it go back to it because the product is that good. So they back themselves because they know that's how good their product is. Most of us, let's be honest, comrades, our products are not that good. Our marketing is, but our products are just like everybody else's. So I want you to hit me up on the comment section and let me know, which sales strategy are you going to deploy? And having understood which sales strategy you're going to deploy, tell me how it is that you think you can beat your competitors using that sales strategy. All right, that's it. I'll see you on the other end of this. Hit subscribe, share. Cheers.
If there's one thing to take from today, it's this fifth. Great sales is never about pushing products. It's about building belief. When you learn to evangelize your offer, lead with knowledge, build community, create exclusivity, and use freemium the right way, selling stops feeling like persuasion and starts becoming pull. Which of these strategies hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this episode gave you value, like, subscribe, and share it with another entrepreneur or salesperson who needs this. And don't forget, scan the QR code on screen and join our growing business community. Always remember this. In sales, attention gets you noticed, strategy gets you paid. I'm Jones Chima Austin, and this is Glittarz TV. See you in the next Sales Masterclass.
One thing is rest assured, once you're following Glittarz TV, there's this room to upgrade your business and selling skills. We are building a strong community here on YouTube for marketers and business owners. Now, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Brought to you by Glittarz TV, where smart minds learn how to sell anywhere and anytime. Your comments will help push this video to more audience that needs it. Like and subscribe too. See you in the next episode. Bye.